where Stephen and I will be pitting our identical BRZs against one another to determine what type of mods are most effective to decrease our overall lap times.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to compare two similar but different mods, see which one decrease your lap time, is more cost effective, and basically makes the car more fun to drive every day. Things are going to be like comparing coilovers to a sway bar, trying to tighten up your handling, which kind of power mods are best. Do you do an intake and a header? Do you just do header and exhaust, which basically sound better, which gives you more power? And we'll see how the whole thing goes over the next few episodes.
Hi everybody. On today's episode, Stephen and I are going to be doing a
car. I'm going with the FT86 unequal length. Alright, so in this first episode, what we're going to do is compare how to improve the sound of your car. Whether you do an aftermarket exhaust or you do an aftermarket intake. Modification all depends, I guess, on what you want to do with your car. Do you daily drive it, or you just occasionally drive it on the weekends and track it only? It's up to you.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Stephen and I spent roughly the same. I spent about $1,000 on my sound mod, as we'll call it. I think Stephen spent right around
about $700, a couple $100 less.
So we'll also be comparing, you know, kind of value-wise, what we determine and what you guys ultimately determine, you know, sounds better for the money.
Yeah. So basically now we're just going to go over where our cars are starting for the series before we've done anything this year to it. So I decided to go with the Mishimoto cold air intake and induction hose. I wanted to basically kind of get the sound increased a little when I'm stepping on it, but not really have that drone of an exhaust. And, you know, manufacturer's claim increases a little over 10 horsepower. We'll be testing that hopefully later in the series to see if there's actually any power gains through that modification, and the rest of them we have planned to do. Other than that, I just stepped it up to an 8-inch wide rim, and when we're actually competing, we put on some better compound tires, and that's basically where I'm starting off. Up next, we'll just see what Andrew's done before we continue on.
So as Stephen said, right now we're just pointing out what we had done to our cars prior to starting the series. So for my car, I decided to go with an aftermarket exhaust rather than the intake. I originally decided to go with the exhaust because I found the car just too quiet, especially when you're competing with a helmet on. It's really hard to hear the exhaust note, determine what rev range you're in, where you should shift, things like that. So I decided to go with the catback exhaust over Stephen's decision to do an intake. I also will be running a different wheel tire combo for the street. So those are a 9-inch wide wheel compared to Stephen's 8-inch wide wheel. And also during competitions, I will be running the same tire as Stephen, the Bridgestone Potenza RE71R. The other modifications I have started with prior to the series are a coilover offered by Fortune Auto. It's their 500 series product with a custom rate that I ordered of 7K front, 8K rear. They also came with camber plates. And I also went with a radium brake master cylinder brace. I found the pedal to be a little soft for my liking, and someone suggested that to me. I decided to try it. It's worked out well, but that's where my car started prior to the series. One of the considerations, I guess, you're going to have to stop and think about when looking for an aftermarket exhaust for whatever you drive. Series
now what we're going to do is go into a rev off. We're going to have you vote in the comments below to see which one you prefer. Do you like Andrew's or do you like mine? You know, because you shouldn't like his.
I don't want to bias anyone, and I know it is my car, and I know it is a toy, but like Steven said, we will be kind of putting the ball in your court. We want to know what everyone thinks. We're going to be doing kind of a stationary, unloaded rev off, just an at idle rev, and then maybe we'll get some in-car shots, and so that way we can compare functionality of the sound while you're driving it.
All right, well, here we go.
Alrighty. That pairs nicely to the intake.
Right now what we're going to do is set a good time for each other in each other's cars as well as our own, so that we can get a base to see what our handicap is compared to each other, so that when we go racing, we can figure out each other's times based on our handicap.
Yeah, not just the parts on the cars, and not just the cars themselves. We'd like to factor in an actual handicap here so we can fairly balance how we criticize each other's cars.
Yeah, so what you'll see next is Andrew doing a run of his car, then me and my car, and then we switch. And we'll see what the times are compared to each other in each other's cars, so we can figure out our handicap and use that for the rest of the series, figure out who's the better car, who's the better driver.
Alright, Steven, looks like you made a little mistake in this one, so I take the lead in my car, but we'll see what happens when we jump into yours.
Alright. like you messed up on this one, but somehow pulled the lead at the end.
I don't get it.
Well, looks like it's all you now.
Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of the Unidentical Twins series. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to vote on whose car you think sounds the best.
Yeah.
We'll have the results for you hopefully towards the end of the series, and we'll see how everybody thinks our car sounded.
Yeah. And in our next episode, what we're going to do is compare tire sizes. Andrew's running a 245/40 17-inch, and I'm running a 235/45. So we're going to see, is a wider tire better? Is the smaller sidewall profile going to help you out in feel and responsiveness? So, like you said, subscribe down below, and tune in for the next episode coming up. Thanks, guys.
See you next time.
See ya.
Action! All right. Hello.
Basically, you kind of get the sound increased a little when I'm stepping on it, but not